don't.
Okay, nope. I just made Cameron the host.
Oh, perfect.
And so he is online, so we don't have to worry about that.
Okay. And I still have this message. I can't start my video because the host has stopped it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
So Cameron's the host right now. So what's going to happen? Actually, you know what, Cameron, you can probably make her a co-host.
Let's see.
I made you the host, so I lost all control.
Oh.
How funny.
Click on her name and participants.
Make co-host. Got it.
Yeah. So now you should be able to turn your video on, Verily.
Oh, let me look. Yay, thank you.
All right. So Cameron's the host, Verily's co-host. You can make Maggie the co-host when she comes in, so she can get her video on. And then this will record up to the cloud. So Cameron, when you're done, just shut the webinar down and everybody will be able to go. You're in control. So
okay, yeah, got it. So, and I see that at the bottom, like it shows that it's recording right now. And I guess pretty much as of right now, like I won't need to do anything other than just go ahead and hit like share screen.
So you're going to hit that start the webinar button. Did you hit that already?
I did at the top. It said like,
oh,
you know,
yeah,
you're in a practice session. I hit start webinar.
Perfect. So attendees are coming in now.
Oh, exciting. Great.
So so basically attendees will start coming in. So you're live. I'll chop off the front of the video of where you're welcoming everybody before I upload it.
Okay. And then going into share my screen. There it is. Got it.
Hit the share screen button and you're good.
Good to go.
There shouldn't be anything else. I mean, if someone posts in Q&A or raises their hand. So like if I raise my hand, you'll see that in the panelist now. Yep. And then you can just, I think there's a way to hover it and just like lower hand. You can lower everybody's hands.
Okay.
There's probably a button in there, but I can do it too. So.
And Verily, can you see my screen?
Hang on.
No, I don't see you sharing right now.
All right.
No.
Let's see. What about now?
There you go. Yep.
Perfect. Yeah.
Perfect. All right, guys, I'm going to keep my camera off and I'm just going to mute because I'll participate, but I got to go find out what's going on with the doctors.
Absolutely. That's priority, Ryan.
So, all right, Cameron, you're good?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, take care. Okay. Hi, Maggie.
Hello, how are you?
Fine, how are you?
Good. Hmm. Hmm.
Good morning, everyone. Got 10 o'clock. I'll give it one more minute just in case for any other people who come in a little bit late.
Okay.
Super.
All right, we'll go ahead and get this started. So welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining. Just to go over, we're going to go ahead and introduce the board members here. President for NETPA is Ryan England. He owns and runs the company Core Matters. Verily, Vice President, careers expanded for the Economic Workforce Development and Human Resources, and currently is representative with Arizona at Work. Jose Rojas, he's our treasurer, and he is currently working as a senior project manager with employment and rehabilitation for Aetna. Got myself, Cameron. I'm a consultant for the agency team here at ZipRecruiter. And then we've got Maggie, and she is our secretary, and she has been a NETPA member for over 10 years and comes with a lot of industry knowledge. So NETPA core values, our whole goal here is to connect the underserved to the right employers, believing in and growing in our community, doing what's unconventional. Purpose is, together with our community partners, we recognize job seekers with barriers and challenges, and we connect them to long-term gainful employment. Our vision in 3 years was 50 companies belong to NETPA organization. They receive guidance, support, and direction as we help them hire qualified individuals facing barriers to employment. One of our partners being ZipRecruiter, and that's a company that I work for. Some other resources, if you have any questions in regard to Arizona at Work, Verily is your contact, and her information is there below.
Oh.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, do you want to do your presentation first, Cameron, and then I'll take this afterwards?
Absolutely. All right.
Okay.
We'll go ahead and then just jump into the meat of it here. So I'm going to be presenting you guys a presentation just over United States labor market trends, some job seeker insights, and then also some job seeker tips to help separate yourself from others. So currently, everyone knows right now the market is booming. Last month, we saw retail sales hit 9.8%, which is insane because normal retail sales per month is about 1%. So America is spending money, which is a great thing. However, we're seeing these businesses imploding our job market space with job postings. As you can see on this chart here, January 2020, pre-COVID, we were seeing around 11 million job postings. And then of course, as COVID hit, we saw a significant dive, seeing that bottom out in around May to June, and slowly has been picking up. However, as of recently, within the last 2 months, we are seeing record job growth opportunities. As it stands right now, there are 14.7 million job postings in the United States. So we've been seeing all these job gains, and they're going across pretty much every single industry. More industries contributed job gains than losses in March, which is a huge thing to see. We're seeing rapid recovery, and about industries, restaurants, which is so great to hear, is that they are posting about 176,000 job postings. Entertainment is coming back with posting about 74,000 jobs. And then hotels, which is even better to see, is that they're coming back stronger than ever before, having about 40,000 job postings. Pre-COVID levels, we were seeing anywhere about 15,000 job postings. So they have more than doubled and are coming back stronger than ever. At the same time, we're seeing continued strength in stay-at-home industries boosted by the pandemic. Construction jobs, everyone's buying a house right now. The construction market is seeing about 110,000 job postings in the month of March. Warehousing, which is going to be employers like Amazon, Target, Walmart, they're posting about 48,000 jobs across the United States. And then couriers and messengers hitting about 16.7 thousand jobs postings. So all that's great news. Love seeing that there's a bunch of jobs being posted out on the market, but at the same time, we're not seeing the job seeker recovery hitting at the same clip. So as we were seeing back in January of 2020, at the far left of this chart, we actually had a huge amount of job seekers in the labor force actually actively looking for jobs. And that was outclipping how many job postings there were. So at that time, employers had all the cards in their hand. They were able to post their job, and there was enough job seekers for them to make their hire. Of course, that drastically changed during COVID. And now that we're kind of coming out of this COVID recession, we're actually seeing the inverse happen. Not as many people are actually actively looking for work due to potential issues with not wanting to go into an office space. Just currently, they're on unemployment, and COBRA insurance is actually playing a role in this, in the sense where some job seekers would be taking a significant pay cut to re-enter the job force at this time. So as we sit right now, there are a lot more jobs than there are actual job seekers. You know, as unemployment rate continues to decline, employers are increasingly competing to reach potential candidates. Uber's having to move quickly to lure back US drivers. They're even offering reemployment bonuses. With that being, if they're a previous previous driver for Uber, they're currently saying that they'll pay them an additional $800 for the first month that they come back, because that's how much demand that there is on their site. As well, Walmart has been competing with Amazon and others for warehouse workers for many years. However, during the pandemic, it has actually caused a great struggle, and there's massive competition between the two conglomerates. As well, some employers are saying that they're continuing to attract and retain the best talent in the industry, but it's becoming a critical part of their success. And this commitment to further solidifies their position as the employer of choice in full service dining. And that is for the Olive Garden brands, is what they're having to do is reach out to past people that they had actually laid off. So while competition is heating up, there are fewer people looking for jobs. In fact, jobs being the #1 search term, and in 2019 and 2020, up until COVID, we're actually seeing that this job search term is now becoming less and less open. So as I stated before, for some job seekers, it doesn't actually make sense for them to re-enter at this time. One great thing that we're seeing right now is that everyone's getting vaccinated, but what we've seen so far in Q1 is that it was actually the elderly population that we were most focused on and getting vaccinated. So as more and more vaccinations are coming through, we are actually starting to see the younger population starting to come into back into the workforce not at the clip that we need them to, but we're hoping by around May through September, we'll actually see this whole force come right back into the market as people start getting vaccinated across the United States. So there are many unique external factors competing for the hearts, minds, and bank accounts of potential workers. Extended unemployment benefits and stimulus packages are making it easier to remain out of the workforce. Just recently, an executive action was put into place where the American Rescue Plan extends bonus payments of $300 per week and even offers a tax break for unemployment benefits collected in 2020. For those in lower income brackets, the monetary value of benefits surpass that of going back to work and risk facing exposure before a vaccination. Most of the working age population has yet to be vaccinated, as I previously stated. But right now, like I said, the elderly population, we're definitely seeing a majority of them being vaccinated. And as months to come transpire, we're hoping to see all the numbers from the workforce between 20 to 60 start to rapidly increase. This would help our economy out drastically and help reduce this tension of competition between major workforces and allowing much more opportunity for job seekers. And at this time as well, another outside factor is parents are juggling hectic childcare in schools. Right now, only about 55% of the nation's schools are back into in-person instruction, whether that be for part-time in-person instruction. So this is actually playing a huge deal for parents who either are going back to the office or working remotely. They're having to juggle this childcare on top of their job. Currently, right now, if they're collecting unemployment, they kind of get best of both worlds, where they can be with their family as well as not having to worry about what they're going to be doing as far as childcare costs. As well, many job seekers haven't realized the extent of the job opportunities have improved since the pandemic started. So back in January, respondents were showing that they expect to find a job that is better than the job that they had previously in the past. That is shrinking. ZipRecruiter, we do feature a resume database and invite to apply to encourage people who might have been passive job seekers or applied in the past and are waiting for the labor market conditions to improve before they re-enter. And unfortunately, at this time, it's still shrinking even in the month of April. As well, there's pent-up demand for leisure travel combined with optimism and driving this summer plans. So people are looking to get out. And in fact, we just saw numbers yesterday reported that airlines are seeing the highest clip that they've ever seen of full flights since the pandemic, which is fantastic to hear. So as the economy is revving up, Americans are increasing spending on flights, lodging, and dining out, which once again is just creating more and more jobs. But the Atlantic, as they reported, for one glorious summer, Americans will likely vacation like the French, meaning that they're going to be extending their paid time off more than just the typical 2 weeks that they had received while working. In a few months, workforce participation will accelerate dramatically, and a lot of this is going to be derived off the next 5 things. Federal stimulus money will be coming to an end, and workers will want to secure jobs ahead of that, as they are seeing their weekly benefits going to be coming to a close. 2, all working age adults in the United States who want a vaccine will most likely have had the opportunity to have gotten them by this time. Schools should be back in session with a lot of parental demand for full in-person learning. And then at the end of the day, there's going to be plenty of jobs that will still be available and unfilled. And as summer vacations will be wrapping up with pretty much children at home, they're going to have the ability to go back to in-school learning, thus allowing that Monday through Friday schedule to free up for parents to go back to the workforce. So between now and September, employees are actually going to need to double down on talent acquisition efforts. That being said, well, pretty much the only way that we can attract job seekers to your jobs is going to be something that'll entice them over the current unemployment benefits. Here in Arizona, I believe the average comes out to about $16.41 for unemployment. So if you're hiring for, let's just say, a customer service role that's paying $12 an hour, it's going to be pretty hard to have that job seeker want to re-enter the workforce when they would technically be taking a pay cut given the current unemployment benefits. So a lot of things that we're seeing on our site are employers offering re-employment bonuses because unemployment benefits are on a weekly schedule. So people have gotten used to getting paid every single week. So as soon as they start working, unemployment stops. And now that person's going to have to go up to 3 weeks without being paid. So what we're seeing is these re-employment bonuses, or you could call it a pre-employment draw, meaning that we're going to basically be paying them upfront just to get them into our door and start working now. So that's kind of the biggest things that we're seeing on our site across the United States. So all that's fine and dandy, but what about the job seekers? We've got some pretty big issues that the employers are seeing. So how can we help get these job seekers into the spotlight? So for job seekers, some of the best things that you need to know about are robots. Robots are actually pre-screening 75% of resumes before any human actually touches it. What that means is when you create your resume, a robot's actually reading it and giving a brief synopsis for recruiters to actually review. As well, every job site across the United States parses resumes to figure out what jobs would be a best recommendation. And the reason for that is job seekers kind of always might be lost on what job would be a best fit. So what can we do to actually help this robot find us what job might be best? We want to keep our resumes simple and straightforward. We want to avoid any type of complexities like columns, headers, text box, or logos. As well, please, 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 let's check our spelling and grammar, as this can throw off any type of robot being able to read your resume. So to give you an example of what this would look like, John Doe here on the left, this is a very simple resume. It's clean cut and it gets to the point. Pretty much an algorithm will be able to pick up keywords off this resume quite easily. However, when we go for the more complex and better, if you will, looking resume, it actually thwarts your results of what you might be a good fit for, because they're about resumes, more than 70% are going to look like this on the left than they will on the right. And it just throws off what robots can read and helps not help you actually find what job may be a best fit. As well, you'll want to polish your brand. So let's just say you have no work experience. Well, you'll want to include your recent education, highlight anything that you may have overcome in the past. Don't bring up your GPA unless it's stellar. No employer typically, they're not going to ask you what your GPA was. So just leave that out of the conversation, unless you are the valedictorian of your college or high school. If you have any gaps in your employment, please be honest with the employer. Don't tell them that you're still working for a company if you're recently laid off or fired, as 9 times out of 10, they're going to find out, and that'll just hinder your application from being moved forward. Let's say you're a stay-at-home dad or stay-at-home mom. Make it humorous. Let people know that, hey, I changed 7,083 diapers. I reduced crying time by over 62%. Making it humorous, it shows that you're human. Recruiters, and at the end of the day, we're all humans. We're going to understand where you're coming from. It'll give a good laugh, but it just brings that personality into your resume. Potentially, if you're recently incarcerated, please write that on your resume. It's going to come back on your background check. You want to focus on any facts of your time that reflect well on your character. So whether that be skills acquired, any type of work that you may have done while incarcerated, activities that actually helped others, or rehab and counseling. Now, this is the biggest one, social media. If you have a social media account, please polish it. Employers are going to check it. You need to make sure that you don't have anything on there that could unfortunately not benefit you from getting to the next step in the hiring process. Saying things such as, oh man, I got so drunk or so lit last Tuesday night. We want to make sure we're taking anything like that off of your social media. Try to keep it as clean and professional as possible. And if that is too much work for you, just put it on private. That way no one can actually see it. So where should you search for jobs? I mean, at the end of the day, I will say I've got a bias. I'll tell you, always go to ZipRecruiter.com. However, we find it best that you should be on the big 3, that being ZipRecruiter, LinkedIn, and Indeed. ZipRecruiter, we're utilizing artificial intelligence to find you the right job. LinkedIn, they have jobs on their network, but it's much more of a social business network, which you should be utilizing to your benefit. And Indeed, you're going to be doing the search, but they have all the jobs. So here are some tips on applying for a job. Typically, you'll want to apply to a job that's been posted within the first 3 days. Why, you may ask? Well, that's because 50% of hires are made from those who applied within the first week. Don't disqualify yourself based on written requirements. A lot of these requirements at this time are becoming more preferred. So just because you don't have a college degree, don't let that stop you from applying from a job. These are now starting to become more preferred as the tables have turned. You kind of have the ability to hold the cards and pick what employer you want to go to. At the same time, you want to apply to a company where you love their company brand, their product, or their service. Potentially, you know someone who works there, or they're close to where you live. Typically, you're not going to want to apply to a job that's 100 miles away. So when you're searching and applying for jobs, do that kind of background check on the employer. So now that you've applied to a job, you think you've got the right one and they're calling you in for an interview. Well, some of the things that you want to keep in mind is that you have 20 seconds or less to make a first impression. You want to wear the right outfit, but what is that? Well, you want it to be professional, but it's the one that you look good in. If you look good, you feel good, and you'll actually shine quite well, and the recruiter will be able to see that. Granted, this is for in-person interviews, depending on what company that may be, but you'll want to avoid too much scents, any type of cologne or perfume. That recruiter could be potentially allergic to it, and you don't want to have that impacting your actual interview. As well, you'll want to monitor any type of sweating. The biggest one that recruiters typically will complain about is making eye contact. The recruiter, they're not at your feet, so you always want to make eye contact. And their actual biggest pet peeve, do research on the company. No one wants to interview someone who didn't care to learn about what the company does before applying. Now, today, a lot of interviews are going to be done virtually. So what we're going to want to do is make sure your camera is eye level. Check your background. Please, no messy rooms. That's just not going to bode too well for what's going on in the back. So typically, like what I do, hopefully you can see me right now, I just have a shut door behind me. That way I know nothing's going to come through. I've got the door locked and we're all safe in that regard. As well, you want to make sure your lighting is so that we can actually see your face. And that is all I have for you. So please, if y'all have any questions, I'm happy to answer any data points that you may have. If you just have any generalized questions, raise your hand and we can get to you.
Thanks, Cameron. So if anyone has any questions, you can either unmute yourself or put them in the chat. There's a lot of great information. So any questions, anyone? Everyone's very quiet today. Well, it's Friday. It's been a busy week. Okay, well, if we don't have any questions, we'll move on. Cameron, if you wouldn't mind, please, if you go to the next few slides.
All right.
Okay, great. There we go.
All right.
Okay. All right. Okay. Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Verily Keenan, and I'm going to give you some information about Arizona at Work, Arizona Job Connection, etc., and some resources generally for job seekers. So my day job is a business services representative with Arizona at Work, Maricopa County. So Arizona at Work is the statewide workforce development network that helps employers of all sizes and types recruit, develop, and retain the best employees for their needs. For job seekers throughout the state, we provide services and resources to help them pursue employment opportunities. So Arizona at Work, Maricopa County has career centers in Gilbert and Glendale, which remain open every day during business hours. We do, of course, have reduced capacity. We are observing social distancing, of course, but there are some computers for job seekers to use to work on their resume and apply for jobs. Additionally, we have lots and lots of flyers, lots and lots of jobs are available, and job seekers can go in and pick up those flyers. So whilst some job seekers are coming into the centre, we do encourage job seekers to access our services online if possible, for obvious reasons. So now I'd like to talk about Arizona Job Connection. It was interesting to hear from Cameron about ZipRecruiter. Well, we have Arizona Job Connection, or AJC. It's a vast statewide database of employment opportunities. I think as of this morning, there were 60,000 jobs on Arizona Job Connection statewide. Job seekers can search by job keyword, and they can put in a location, etc., and get lots of matches. So as well as being a great resource for job seekers, Arizona Job Connection is a great resource for employers as well, as they can post their jobs. Thank you. Next slide, please. So I want to talk about some of the online offerings from Arizona Work Maricopa County. As you can see, we have a virtual employment academy, which is a comprehensive 2-hour workshop, which job seekers learn the best career options for them, job search techniques, resume writing, and interview. As well, we have 2 standalone tutorials. The first one is if you need help with your resume. As you can see, lots of tips there about writing a resume and a cover letter. And finally, we have another standalone 30-minute tutorial, which covers interview preparedness and hopefully help you get your dream job. So as you can see, this is where you go to apply, to register for any of these tutorials. Thank you, Cameron. Great. Now I want to mention Arizona Career Readiness Credential, which is a really great credential for job seekers to have. It prepares job seekers for success by demonstrating their command of key, hard, and soft skills, and it assigns a level of proficiency. Now, this is not an easy qualification to get because it does require a lot of study. However, the good thing is it's a recognized credential. Arizona employers recognize this, and it's a great addition to your resume. So thank you. Next slide, please. Now I'm going to talk about our job blasts. I'm not sure if you heard of them, but so we send out these job blasts twice a week, and valuable job leads, information, resources about apprenticeships, trainings, etc. So again, lots of information comes out twice a week from us. So please text AZ at work to 22828 to get started. Thank you. Next slide, please. So now I'm going to talk about some of our community partners, and I'll go through them. AZ Retail Careers, they have many, many jobs in retail. You can go to their website. Best Companies AZ have many jobs. Again, you can search and apply. Career Connectors is a really great resource for job seekers. They hold virtual events showcasing local hiring companies, and as well, they host virtual online hiring events. Chicano por la Causa, they have lots of training courses on their website covering such sectors as finance and call center, so they're worth a look. Goodwill offer career help, and they also host many virtual job fairs. Jobbertising, Local Work, and Pipeline AZ, I'd encourage you to look at all of their websites because they all have lots of jobs, and you can search and apply. So thank you. Next slide, please. So I'm going to mention a couple of virtual hiring events. As you can see, Carvana, great company. They are having a hiring event on Thursday, April the 22nd at 1 o'clock. At the moment, they're offering work from home. I believe, though, when hopefully everything gets back to some semblance of normality, you will be required to go into the office. But at the moment, Carvana are offering work from home opportunities, which is great. So next slide, please. I think we missed one, but anyway, not to worry. There's another hiring event I want to mention. We are on April the 21st in partnership with College Connect. We're holding a youth career fair focused on the East Valley. This is for youth 18 to 24. Employees include community medical services, the City of Tempe, and Vitalite. Now, I've got my contact details in the chat box, so if you need any information about this hiring event, please let me know. Then hot off the press, I don't have a flyer yet. On May the 18th, in collaboration with Best Companies Arizona, Career Connectors, Goodwill, Pipeline AZ, and the City of Tempe, some recognizable names there, we are holding another in the successful series of virtual hiring events. Employers will be announced soon. Talking about job opportunities, we have just posted a business services position. This will be working for Arizona at Work, Maricopa County at our Glendale location, which is located on 43rd Avenue and Olive. The position is open for a week only. So in the chat box, I put where you can find more information and how to apply. Now, talking about job opportunities, as we know, and Cameron certainly pointed that out, employers, we're hearing from employers loud and clear, they are finding it really challenging to fill jobs. There are many positions, so now is a really great time to apply for a job. So I'd encourage any job seekers to really think, wow, there are so many opportunities. Employers are very keen to have you on board. They are offering some inducements, they are offering higher salaries, etc. So again, it's a really great time to apply for a job. So I'll switch gears now and put my NETPA hat on. As you can see, NETPA is a great deal. Our yearly fees are only $25 for an individual and $75 for a company or an organization up to 5 employees. So as you can see, here is the link to join. But if you have any questions about NETPA at all, please go to our website. And Cameron is our membership guru. So please feel free to reach out to him if you have any questions about joining. And I really hope you do, because you get many resources, not only joining these meetings, but we have lots of other resources as well that we send out to members. So again, I'd encourage you to join. Thank you. Next slide, please. Okay, well, as you can see, we have a save the date. Our next event will be on Friday, May the 21st at 10. Now, when we put these slides together, we didn't know what we were doing next month. However, now we do. And we are going to host an employer panel. So there will be the opportunity for 6 wonderful employers to come on and showcase their companies, talk about their benefits, what it's like to work for them, the type of jobs they have available, etc. So this again will be a great opportunity to meet 6 wonderful employers that we don't know who they're going to be yet, but we will obviously be announcing that nearer the time. Thank you. Next slide, please. So it just remains for me to say thank you everybody for participating today. We hope you found it useful. We really appreciate you taking the time. So stay safe, have a great weekend, and thank you again for joining us. Thank you, everybody.